this is former Vice President Joe Biden, the presumptive Democratic presidential nominee. Now, everyone knows that Joe Biden is a human gaffe machine, and it seems like every time he speaks, there's some sort of blunder or awkward moment.
Look, tomorrow's Superstar Tuesday, and I want to thank you all. I tell you what, I'm rushing ahead, aren't I?
I would eliminate the capital gains tax. I would raise the capital gains tax.
We choose unity over division. We choose science over fiction. We choose truth over facts.
I commuted every single solitary day to Wilmington, Delaware, over 500 miles a day. 250 miles a day.
There's a lot of really talented people we have out there. Kamala Harris, you got Cory Booker, you got the former mayor of Massachusetts. You got a lot of talented people.
So in this video, we're going to be counting down the top 30 Biden bloopers of the 2020 election cycle. So far. So, as many of you know, President Trump calls Joe Biden Sleepy Joe, and with good reason.
You know, the rapidly rising I don't know.
So starting off at number 30, here's a clip of VP Biden on Fox News Sunday with Chris Wallace trying to prove Trump otherwise.
I can hardly wait to debate him on stage. I want people to see me standing next to him and him standing next to me. We'll see who's sleepy.
Mr. Vice President, thank you. Thanks for your time. Please come back in less than 13 years, sir.
All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
All right. It's Chris, but anyway.
Chris. I just did Chris. No, I just did Chuck. I tell you what, man, these are back to back. Anyway.
No, not sleepy at all. Blooper number 29 occurred during the November Democratic debate when Joe Biden claimed that of all the candidates, he would be able to get the most support from the black community in a general election, and gave some examples.
I'm part of that Obama coalition. I come out of the black community in terms of my support. If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus, the only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate, a whole range of people.
No,
my point is,
that's not true. The other one is here.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected. First African.
Except if you rewatched a clip, he said the only African-American woman, not the first.
The only African-American woman that ever been elected to the United States Senate.
But at least he recovered gracefully and owned up to his mistake.
I said the first. I said the first African-American elected.
Number 28 is from back in March, when Biden appeared on MSNBC and spoke to Nicole Wallace. And it didn't go so great.
We should be making those masks. We should be moving on those ventilators. We can do that. Why doesn't he just act like a president? That's a stupid way to say it.
You know, Donald Trump was asked on...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, probably best I don't. I just can't figure the guy. It's like watching a yo-yo. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's like watching.
It feels that way. I want to ask.
There's nothing more presidential than constantly cutting yourself off in mid-sentence.
And I tell you what, I'm so darn proud. And those poor people who have lost, anyway.
No, not sleepy at all.
Anyway.
Biden blooper number 27 is something that you might have seen recently.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Joe.
I'm coming directly to you for ask a quick favor.
The utter incompetence of Joe Biden's staff is stunning. Not only did they not catch that Biden flubbed the line, but then they still decided to make it into an ad and push it out to millions of people.
I'm coming directly to you for ask a quick favor.
And we're really supposed to believe that this is the guy that's leading in the polls? Yeah, sure. Number 26 in the countdown is Joe Biden at a climate change town hall hosted by CNN.
I would see to it immediately moving toward, we're in fact in a position now that if in fact we dealt with mitigation across the board, just what we did in the last administration and before, leading to a standard that we provide efficiency for appliances.
What?
That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air.
Oh, my brain hurts. Coming in at number 25 is when Joe Biden was making a campaign stop in Keene, New Hampshire.
I'm back. I've been here a number of times. Last time was, I think, all the way back in 2014, but I've been here before that. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town.
New Hampshire, Vermont, same difference. No wonder Biden placed 5th in their primary. Number 24 in the countdown needs no setup.
Because we cannot get reelected. We cannot win this reelection. We can only reelect Donald Trump.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Blooper number 23 is from the 6th Democratic presidential debate, where Politico's Tim Alberta asked Biden about his age.
If elected, you would turn 82 at the end of your first term. You'd be the oldest president in American history.
Like Winston Churchill.
Are you willing to commit American history?
Oh, American history.
Yes. Are you?
I was joking. That was a joke.
Okay.
That's not the only joke, Joe Biden. Biden blooper number 22 is one of my personal favorites.
Electric vehicles, in fact, the biggest problem is you can't stop to charge. We should have charging stations along every interstate highway in the country. You pay for it just like you did gasoline. But if you can do that with bicycles in town and you can put a nickel, I'm serious.
Nothing shows how old and out of touch you are by claiming that there are still things that only cost a nickel. You picked them, Democrats, and now you're stuck with them.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Number 21 is from the Democratic presidential debate in New Hampshire.
We should make sure that we have no one going to jail for a drug offense. They go directly mandatory prison. Mandatory treatment, not prison.
Okay, calm down, Joe.
The fact of the matter is that what's happened is that we're in a situation now where there are so many people who are in jail and shouldn't be in jail. The whole means by which this should change is the whole model has to change. We should be talking about rehabilitation. Nobody should be in jail for a nonviolent crime.
Nonviolent criminals shouldn't go to jail? Really? And for whatever reason, the debate moderators and the other candidates just let gaffes like this slide, which is precisely why Joe Biden is your Democratic nominee. Coming in at number 20, Joe Biden tells us how he's made the country safer.
I'm also the only guy that got assault weapons banned, and the number of clips in a gun banned.
Did you hear that, guys? Thanks to Joe Biden, you can't insert more than one magazine at a time into a pistol or a rifle. God bless you, Joe Biden. Number 19 is Joe Biden wanting poor kids to hear more words or something.
We bring social workers into homes of parents to help them deal with how to raise their children. It's not that they don't want to help, they don't know quite what to do. Play the radio, make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night, the phone, make sure the kids hear words. A kid coming from a very poor school, or a very poor background, will hear 4 million words fewer spoken by the time they get there.
At number 18, NBC's Chuck Todd asked each candidate the following. If they became president and they could only pass one piece of legislation during their first term, what would it be?
You may only get one shot, and your first issue that you're going to push, you get one shot that it may be the only thing you get passed. What is that first issue for your presidency?
This is a pretty straightforward question. Now let's watch Joe Biden completely screw it up.
The first thing I would do is make sure that we defeat Donald Trump.
Okay.
Period.
So if Joe Biden won the election, he would have already defeated Donald Trump and never mind. Next at number 17, here's Joe Biden being a little too ambitious.
You get a tax break for a racehorse. Why in God's name couldn't we provide an $8,000 tax credit for everybody who has child care costs? It would put 720 million women back in the workforce.
So the only thing holding back 720 million women from the workforce is an $8,000 tax credit for childcare. Got it. Coming in at number 16, Biden is worried about Trump serving more than one term.
4 more years of Donald Trump will go down as an aberration. Hard to overcome the damage he's done, but we can overcome it. 8 more years of Donald Trump will change America in a fundamental way. The America we know will no longer exist.
That would be a total of 12 years. I think Biden saw this meme and thinks it's real. Guys, we're at the halfway point of our countdown, and number 15 is a Joe Biden classic.
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, oh, you switched on me. This is my wife, this is my sister. They switched on me.
No, they didn't switch on you. Number 14 on our list is a near perfect example of Sleepy Joe.
I'm ready on day one after more than 3 years in office. Why isn't Donald Trump ready? Mr. President, wake up.
Oof, somebody needs a nap. Number 13 is something that Joe Biden probably wishes could be scrubbed from history.
China is going to eat our lunch? Come on, man. They can't even figure out how to deal with the fact that they have this great division between the China Sea and the mountains in the in the west. They're not bad folks, but guess what? They're not competition for us.
Biden writing off China like this is easily one of his biggest mistakes this election cycle, and it's going to come back to haunt him during the debates, mark my words. Number 12 in the countdown is a certified classic.
Pick up your phones. Pick up your phone. Now. Send a text to the word United to the number 30330. Okay? That's United. 30330 or 303330 or BOO. Wait. You got it. It's on the back there.
Now, that went down in May during his presidential campaign kickoff in Philadelphia, and nearly 2.5 months later, Joe was still struggling with the concept.
If you agree with me, go to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight.
Okay, I need to set up number 11. In June, Joe Biden spoke about how he was bullied in school for his stutter and claims that during confrontations with bullies, he never insulted them.
In my household, you could never, ever say, you get in a fight with somebody, you could never say anything about them. It was true. You couldn't say if they were 300 pounds, you couldn't say you're fat. You couldn't say you're skinny. You shouldn't say you're short.
However, back in December 2019, Biden had a testy interaction with a man during his No Malarkey tour.
And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take a
So while not a straight-up insult, Biden is clearly taking a jab at the man for being out of shape. But then the exchange got even testier, and Biden broke his rule.
Look, fat, here's the deal.
Turns out that Joe Biden's moral code is pretty flexible. We've now reached the top 10 portion of our countdown, and number 10 is signature Joe Biden.
I'm prepared to say that I have a record of over 40 years and that I'm going to beat Joe Biden.
Turns out that Joe Biden's biggest enemy is Joe Biden. Blooper number 9 shows that Democrats will applaud anything.
You want to nominate a Democrat, a lifelong Democrat, a proud Democrat, an Biden-Obama Democrat. Join us.
Democrats. Classic Biden blooper number 8 occurred during the November Democratic debate.
No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. It will be a big, no, I really mean it. It's a gigantic issue, and we have to make it clear from the top, from the president on down, that we will not tolerate it.
So to combat violence against women, we need to physically beat the crap out of it. Got it. Coming in at number 7 is this infamous moment when a voter in New Hampshire questioned Biden's ability to win the general election.
How do you explain the performance in Iowa, and why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
It's a good question. Number one, Iowa's a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. You said you were, but now you got to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you.
So the former vice president, as a joke, called a woman a liar and dog-faced. Not to mention that he called her a pony soldier. I don't even know if that's supposed to be an insult or a compliment. Coming in at number 6 is when Biden had an interaction with CBS's Ed O'Keefe that the network called a peculiar exchange.
Yesterday you said you accepted Bernie's apology and now you're attacking him. Why are you doing that? Go. Why wasn't his apology enough, Mr. Vice President? Why attack Sanders?
Why? Oh, you're getting nervous, man. Just calm down. It's okay.
No, that's not peculiar. That's unhinged. I mean, look at Ed O'Keefe. The poor guy's face says it all. Coming in at number 5 is when Joe Biden revealed some shocking statistics. Take a look.
150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability. More than all the wars, including Vietnam, from that point on.
I actually said the other night, I was watching him when he said about half the population wiped out with guns. I said, that's a horrible thing. That's the end of his evening. That's the end of his political career. And then after the debate, they're reviewing him. They said, Joe Biden had a great night last night.
Our number 4 blunder comes from a virtual town hall in June, which wasn't all bad. Biden started off talking about unity and bringing people together, which is a good thing.
I do believe we're all God's children, for real. I'm not going to fan the flames of hate. I'm going to speak to heal racial differences. The vast majority of the people are decent. We have to appeal to that, and we have to unite people, bring them together.
This is all good stuff so far, and in this time of unrest, it's a nice message.
There are probably anywhere from 10 to 15% of the people out there that are just not very good people.
Wow. You heard that, right? According to Joe Biden, there are as many as 49 million Americans who are just not very good people. So much for not fanning the flames of divisiveness, huh, Joe? Wow. So, coming in at number 3 is Joe Biden being flippant about the Declaration of Independence.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Sounds corny. Not a joke. Think about it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Number 2 on the countdown happened during a speech to members of the Asian and Latino Coalition in Iowa. Let's watch.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it, but think how we think about it.
And it should be no surprise that when it came to the coalition endorsing a candidate, it wasn't Biden. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 Biden blooper of the countdown.
It's a long way until November. We got more questions.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
I'm sure I don't need to point this out, but Biden saying that you're not black if you vote for Trump is very racist. I can't imagine that most people could get away with saying that, including Trump. On top of that, Joe Biden made some dubious claims.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something for my community. I would love to see
Take a look at my record, man. I extended the voting rights 25 years.
Biden is referring to Senate Bill 2703, the Voting Rights Act Reauthorization and Amendments Act of 2006. Biden didn't write the bill, nor was he the sponsor. That would be Arlen Specter, a Republican. So while Biden is bragging that he extended the Voting Act, the bill passed the Senate with a vote of 98-0. Biden was not vital to the bill in any way.
I have a record that is second to none. The NAACP has endorsed me every time I've run.
And that's not true at all. The NAACP was forced to release a statement saying, "We want to clarify that the NAACP is a nonpartisan organization and does not endorse candidates for political office at any level." Anyway, Biden addressed the whole "you ain't black" comment in a conference call to the US Black Chamber of Commerce.
I shouldn't have been such a wise guy. I shouldn't have been so cavalier in responding to what I thought was anyway.
Anyway, notice that Biden didn't really apologize. But yes, he shouldn't have been such a wise guy and so cavalier, but he also shouldn't have been so racist. But since Biden is now the presumptive nominee, Democrats have no other choice. And that means that Joe Biden gets a pass. I know, you're shocked. And that's it! We did it! The end of the countdown. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, and please like and share. And be sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time.